Welcome back to Longevity Talk. So imagine two of the world's most powerful leaders having a quiet chat. You might think they're talking about big global problems, secret plans, but recently something very different happened. Chinese President Xi Jinping, Russian President Vladimir Putin were at a large military parade in Beijing. A microphone was left on, and it picked up their surprising conversation. They weren't talking about armies or politics. Instead, they were talking about something many people dream of living for a very, very long time. This unexpected moment has made people all over the world very curious. Their conversation touched on some pretty amazing ideas. President Xi, who is 72 years old, mentioned some people predict we might live to be 150 years old this century. That is a very long life. President Putin, who is also 72, agreed and added his own thoughts. He spoke about how modern medicine is changing everything. He talked about new technologies that could help people stay active and healthy for many more years. This brief chat gives us a small look into their personal thoughts about health, aging, and the future of humanity. The discussion also included the idea of replacing body parts. President Putin mentioned surgery related to organ replacement could help people live longer and healthier lives. He suggested biotech developments might make people feel younger as they age. Let's talk about what an organ transplant is, using simple words. Our bodies have many important parts inside called organs. Your heart is an organ that pumps blood. Your lungs are organs that help you breathe. Your kidneys are organs that clean your blood. Sometimes, an organ can get very sick or stop working properly because of an illness or injury. When this happens, a doctor can perform a special surgery called an organ transplant. This is when a sick organ is removed and replaced with a healthy one from another person. This amazing medical procedure can save a person's life and help them feel healthy again. Organ transplants are a big reason why people can live longer and healthier lives today. Before this technology existed, a person with a failing heart or kidney might not have had many options, but now, getting a new organ can give them a second chance at life. The idea that President Putin and President Xi discussed is taking this concept even further. They talked about a future where organ transplants are not just for saving lives, but also for extending them. Imagine a future where you could replace an organ as it gets old, just like you might replace a part in a car to keep it running smoothly for many more years. However, there is a big challenge with organ transplants today. There are not enough healthy organs for everyone who needs one. Many people have to wait a very long time for a transplant. Sometimes a matching organ is never found. This is why scientists are working hard on new solutions. One of the most exciting ideas is called bioprinting. This is like using a special three-dimensional printer, but instead of using plastic, it uses living cells as the ink. The goal is to print brand new, functioning organs in a lab. If this becomes possible, it could solve the problem of organ shortages completely. This idea of printing new organs is exactly what makes the conversation between Putin and Xi so interesting. They were talking about a future where biotechnology could allow for the continuous replacement of organs. This would mean that as a person's body ages, they could receive new, younger organs to keep them healthy. This could dramatically slow down the aging process and maybe even make people feel younger as they grow older. It is a bold vision for the future of medicine, where we are not just fixing what is broken, but actively working to extend our healthy years far beyond what we think is possible today. It is natural for anyone to want a long and healthy life, and world leaders are no different. They are human, just like us, and they think about their health and future. But for powerful leaders like President Putin and President Xi, there might be more reasons for their interest in longevity. These leaders have spent many years in power and have big plans for their countries. Living longer would give them more time to see their plans through and continue leading their nations. Neither President Putin nor President Xi has shown any sign that they want to step down from their roles anytime soon. For these leaders, staying in power is tied to their personal vision for their country's future. President Putin was just elected for a fifth term, which will keep him in his position for many more years. Similarly, President Xi has secured his leadership in China for the foreseeable future. When you have such long-term goals, the idea of having more time to achieve them becomes very attractive. A longer, healthier life would mean more years to shape their nation's destiny and maintain their influence on the world. Their interest in anti-aging is not just personal, it is also connected to their political ambitions and legacies. Furthermore, a country that leads in longevity science would gain a lot of respect and power. If Russia or China could develop technologies that allow people to live to 150, it would be a huge scientific achievement. It would show the world that their country is at the forefront of innovation. This would bring great prestige and could also have economic benefits. A healthy, long-living population could be more productive. For leaders who want their countries to be seen as global superpowers, investing in something as groundbreaking as life extension is a powerful statement of their nation's capabilities and ambitions for the future. Finally, there is also the personal aspect of health. Leaders like Putin are known for their focus on staying fit and healthy. At 72 years old, both he and President Xi are at an age where thoughts about aging and health become more prominent. The dream of a longer, more active life is a universal one, and it seems even the world's most powerful leaders share it. Russia has been making serious moves to become a leader in anti-aging research, with strong support from President Putin himself. Last year, the government established a new research program called New Technologies for Health Preservation. This program has a clear and ambitious goal to find ways to help people live longer and healthier lives. President Putin has said that the nation should focus on increasing life expectancy. He has set targets to raise the average age people live to 78 years by 2030, 81 years by 2036. This shows a serious commitment from the very top of the government. The New Technologies for Health Preservation program is not just a small project, it is a major national effort with a lot of money behind it. The Russian government plans to invest about 210 billion rubles, which is over 2.6 billion US dollars, into this project by 2030. This money will fund research in many exciting areas. Scientists have been asked to come up with new ideas for tackling cellular aging, which is the process that makes our bodies get old. They are also looking into ways to correct the immune system to keep it strong as we age, which is a key part of staying healthy. One of the key figures behind this push is a physicist named Mikhail Kovalchuk, who is said to be a close friend of President Putin. Sources say that he is very passionate about the idea of eternal life and has been a major supporter of this project. His influence may have helped convince the president to make anti-aging research a national priority. This national project has been announced even while Russia is involved in a major war, which shows how important it is to the country's leaders. The government has stated that the project aims to save 175,000 lives by 2030 through better health and new technologies. This focus on life preservation at home is a powerful message. It shows that even with other challenges, Russia is determined to invest in a future where its citizens can enjoy longer, healthier, more active lives. The country is putting its resources and scientific minds toward solving the ancient mystery of aging. China, much like Russia, has been pouring a lot of resources and energy into the field of biotechnology. The country sees this area of science as incredibly important for its future. Biotechnology involves using living things like cells to create new products and technologies. This includes developing new medicines and creating advanced ways to extend human life. President Xi's conversation with President Putin about living to 150 shows that this topic is on his mind. China's government has made it a national priority to become a world leader in science and technology. Biotechnology is a huge part of that plan. The country has been investing billions of dollars in research and development in areas related to health and longevity. Chinese scientists are making rapid progress in fields like gene editing, which could one day be used to fix genetic diseases that shorten life. They are also heavily involved in stem cell research, which holds promise for repairing damaged tissues and organs. China's ambition is to improve the health of its massive population and be at the forefront of the next big scientific revolution. This drive is part of a larger strategy to become a more innovative and powerful nation on the global stage. President Xi's comment about living to 150 reflects a real and growing interest within China. The country is already seeing its average life expectancy increase thanks to better healthcare and living conditions. The government wants to continue this trend. By investing in advanced biotechnology, China hopes to find new ways to fight age-related diseases, like cancer, heart disease, dementia. The goal is not just to add more years to life, but to add more healthy and active years, allowing people to enjoy their old age without suffering from debilitating illnesses. The partnership between Russia and China, the No Limits Partnership, could also extend to this field of science. When two powerful countries with a shared interest in longevity decide to work together, they can make progress much faster. They can share research resources, knowledge. The conversation between their leaders suggests that this is a topic of mutual interest. Their combined efforts in biotechnology could lead to breakthroughs that might have seemed like science fiction just a few years ago, bringing the world closer to a future of much longer lifespans. One of the most amazing ideas being explored in Russia and China is 3D bioprinting. This sounds like something from a futuristic movie, but it is a real area of research. Imagine a special printer that uses living cells as its ink. Scientists hope to use these printers to build new human organs, layer by layer. If they succeed, they could print a new heart, kidney, liver that is a perfect match for a patient. This would completely change medicine. No one would have to wait for an organ donor because a new organ could be made specifically for them in a laboratory. Russia has been investing heavily in this technology. In the last couple of years, Moscow has put millions of dollars into bioprinting research. Some Russian companies are already making incredible progress. One startup successfully implanted a 3D printed thyroid gland into a mouse back in 2015. In 2018, they became the first to create live tissue in space. The Russian government is very optimistic. Some officials say they will have the technology to print complex human organs within the next 6 years. Beyond printing organs, there are other very bold ideas for extending life. One of the most famous is the 2045 initiative founded by Dmitry Itskov. This project has a very ambitious goal: to make humans immortal. The plan has several stages. The first step involves creating a robotic copy of a human body that can be controlled by a person's brain. The final goal is to upload a person's consciousness, thoughts, memories, personality, into a computer and artificial body. This would mean that even after the biological body dies, the person's mind could continue to exist forever. These ideas are very far-reaching and represent the ultimate dream of overcoming death itself. While uploading a mind into a computer is still firmly in the realm of science fiction for now, the fact that serious projects are dedicated to it shows how much the desire for immortality drives human innovation. The research into bioprinting is much closer to becoming a reality and could have a huge impact on our health and lifespan in the near future. These big ideas show that scientists and innovators are no longer just trying to cure diseases. They are trying to redefine what it means to be human and how long we can live. The dream of living a much longer life, or even forever, is an ancient one. For centuries, people told stories about fountains of youth, magical ways to stop aging. Today, that dream is no longer just a story. Scientists worldwide use modern technology to understand why we age and how we can slow it down. The conversation between President Putin and President Xi shows this is now discussed at the highest levels. Their interest matters. Major government investments in Russia, major government investments in China. That funding is pushing research faster than ever. However, we must be realistic about the challenges ahead. Ideas like printing new organs or living to 150 are exciting, but many scientific and ethical hurdles remain. Creating a fully functional human organ in a lab is incredibly complex. Even if we extend life, those extra years must be healthy and happy. We also must imagine what a world with super long lifespans would look like. Would these technologies be available to everyone, or only to the rich and powerful? These are questions we need to discuss as the science develops. Despite the challenges, there is reason to be hopeful. Every day, scientists make new discoveries about the biology of aging. We are learning how to keep our cells healthy, how to repair our bodies, and how to fight age-related diseases. Research in Russia, China, and many other countries is creating a wave of innovation leading to new treatments. These may not make us immortal overnight, but they could help us live significantly longer, healthier lives. The future of human longevity is an exciting journey just beginning. Conversations of world leaders, billions in funding, and brilliant scientists point toward more control over our health and lifespan. The path to living to 150 or beyond will be long and full of challenges, but the pursuit is already changing medicine and our understanding of life. The dream of a longer future is moving from imagination into reality, bringing hope for generations to come.